Om. 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 Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamotim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrusham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarajanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Vande Guru-paramparam Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim chaiva Tato Jayamudirayetu Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yatkrupa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaishtabaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanishadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tatgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yashyantam Navidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Hari Om, everybody. With the abundant grace of Kitappa, we have thus far covered 3 chapters in his text in the Bhagavad Gita. The 3 chapters would make it Shadamsham, 1/6. And as per the Gita Mahatyam, it says, Shadamsham Japamanastu Somayaga Phalam Labhet. I really don't know what it means, but we're all going to get some Somayaga Phalam. Shadamsham Japamanastu Somayaga Phalam Labhet. Now, in these 3 chapters, what is it that we have picked up? What are the important things that we shall not forget? What are the things that we have to keep on recollecting and digesting and parasparam discussing with like-minded people? That kind of a thing only will make what little we have known remain with us for a long time. Now, in the first chapter, we have seen what? We have seen the attitude of Dhritarashtra, that fellow being the elder father for Pandavas. He says, Mamakaha Pandavas Cheva Kimakurvata Sanjaya, in the first verse. Mamakaha, my people, and Pandavaha. So he has separated the Pandavas straight away. And that is the attitude of Dhritarashtra. And he also said, Dharma kshetre kurukshetre. A person who does not have any qualification to talk of dharma, he talks of dharma kshetre kurukshetre. So that is how Dhritarashtra is. And Duryodhana also, his attitudes, we had seen a little. What were the attitudes? He had approached the Guru, Dronacharya, Acharyam upasangamya Raja Vachanam abravit. And after saying so many things, finally he said, Bhishma meva virakshantu bhavantas sarva hi. You, all of you people, ayaneshu cha sarveshu yada bhagamavasthitaha Bhishma meva virakshantu bhavantas sarva hi. All of you, please protect Bhishmacharya. The need for protection to Bhishmacharya also we have discussed, and that Shikhandopakyanam we have covered reasonably adequately. Okay. Now, afterwards, what happened? Arjuna, bubbling with a lot of enthusiasm to fight, bubbling with the desire to establish dharma and punish Duryodhana and his clan. He told Krishna what? Senayoho ubhayor madhye me radham stapaya achyuta yavadetan niriksheham yodhukaman avastitan kaihi maya sahayodhavyam asmin rana samudyame yochyamanan aviksheham yayetetra samagataha Dhartarashtrasya durbuddhehe yuddhe priyachikirsavaha. All those people who have assembled on the other side and who have assembled to please Duryodhana, as it were, I would like to see for all those things arrayed there, with whom I have to fight and eliminate them and teach this Duryodhana a lesson and establish dharma. That was Arjuna. And later on, what happened? He said, after Krishna Bhagavan has taken the chariot to the middle of the armies, he has seen all those people. He said he has seen what? He has seen Bhishmacharya, Krupacharya, Dronacharya, and all his kith and kin on both sides. On both sides, it is Kurus only. Both sides, it is Kurus, and both sides, it's only the friends and well-wishers of Kurus who have a distant relationship with the Kurus, in a way. So, seeing all those things, all those people, he really was overtaken with tremendous compassion, though the compassion is misplaced. We will see how it is misplaced. And he told Krishna, Nakankshe Vijayam Krishna, Nacha Radyam Sukhanicha, Kim no Radyena Govinda, etc. I don't want victory. I don't want kingdom. I don't want happiness bought out of the bloodbath of this battle. And he said, then he said a lot of dharma vishayas. Those dharma vishayas are what? Narake niyatam vasaha bhavati ti anushruma. This is a kind of a Veda Vakya. Narake niyatam vasaha bhavati ti anushruma. If we swajanam hikatam hatva sukanasyama madhava. Killing our own people, how can we be happy, Madhava? And we will attain to Narakam. Narake niyatam vasaha. All these things he said. And finally he said what? Edimam, in case me, mam, apratikaram, unresisting, apratikaram, ashastram, not holding any shastra, not holding any astra, ashastram, shastrapanayaha, holding all those shastras, dhartarashtraha, those people holding all those weapons, rane hanyuhu, if they kill me, talme kshemataram bhave, even that is better for me. Iti, iti uktva, finally in the beginning of the second chapter, what did he say? Nayotsya iti govindam uktva tushnim babhuvaha. Nayotsya. And these are the words of Sanjaya. Okay? I will not fight, iti Arjuna has said. And when did he say that? When Bhagavan Krishna started chiding him. We are into the second chapter, mind you. We are into the second chapter. He started chiding him. And what kind of a chiding? Whiplashes. Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam anarya justam asvargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, you are talking of so much of narake niyatam vasaha, etc. And what you are doing is indeed taking you there. Kutastva, from where? Tva kashmalamidam, this kind of a faint-heartedness. Vishame samupastitam, in this critical moment, how did it occur? Kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupastitam anarya justam, it is unbecoming of a noble person like you. Anarya justam asvargyam, it does not take you to Swarga. That means what? It takes you to Naraka. Asvargyam, which you were trying to avoid earlier. Narake niyatam vasaha. Now you are paving the way for that. Anarya justam asvargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. It becomes very highly infamous. Klaibyam asmakamaha. Don't have these conflicting views in your mind. Earlier you said, Senayoho ubhayor majje me radham stapaya achyuta, which I did. After that, you have surveyed everybody, you have to fight, and finally you come to the conclusion you will not fight. What kind of a conflict in the mind you are developing? Why is that split personality? Within moments you have changed. What is this, Arjuna? Are you a man, a woman, or not? Both. Klaibyam masmagamapada naitatvayi papajyate. Don't you attain to this kind of an attitude. It is not becoming of you. Kshudram hrudaya daurbalyam chekto thishta parantapa. This hrudaya daurbalyam chektva, giving up, uthishta parantapa. Then Arjuna did not give up because his mind is elsewhere now. His mind is on sannyasa. Because he said, Swajanam hi katam hatva sukinasyama madhava. All those things. So he has decided not to fight. When you come there, decide not to fight. When you go away, what do you want to do? Only Vikshatanam. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bhikshamapi haloke. All those things he said. And he said towards the end, we don't know whether we are going to win or they are going to win. Nachetad vidmak kataranno gariyo yadva jayema yadivano jayeyuhu yaneva hatvana jiji vishamaha. After having eliminated whom we will not wish to happily live, najiji vishamaha tevastita pramukhe dhartarashtraha. All those dhartarashtra pramukhas are arrayed in front of us. But I am in a conflict. I am in a conflict. Unable to decide. So I am surrendering to you. Shadhi mam tvam prapannam. Shadhi, teach me. Shadi Mam Tvam Prapannam. I am surrendering to you because I am unable to decide which is better. Then Bhagavan's teaching started beautifully. What was that verse? Which we should remember for life. Ashotyan Anvashotastvam.
Ashotyan
Anvashotastvam Prajnavadamscha bhashase Gata asun Agata asumscha Panditaha na anushocante. Panditaha na anushocante. The Pandita Purushaha will not grieve over this. Over what? Gata asun, agata asun. Those people who have lost their lives are such as those who are still having life. Gata asun, agata asunscha. Panditaha na anushochanti. But you are talking like a pandita. Ashocyan anvashocastvam. Unnecessarily you are grieving for that which does not deserve any grief. Ashotyan anvashocastvam prajnavadamscha bhashase gata asun agata asumscha na anushochanti panditaha. That is why, Arjuna, I called you earlier Klaibyam. You are talking like a pandita and behaving like an utter apandita. Your behavior is diametrically opposite to your talk. That is why I am getting confused. That is why I call you, my dear friend Arjuna. You are very dear to me. You are my Sakha and you are my Ishtasakha. And I had to call you Klaibyam. What kind of a title I had to give you? I could not avoid it. Then he says, Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipaha. It is not as though, Arjuna, that we will not be tomorrow, you and I. Not that all these people arrayed here will not be there in future. Not that they were not there earlier. So we have been earlier, we are here, we shall be in future. That means what? Punarjanma vidyate. Punarjanma is for what? For the deha. Punarjanma vidyate. And continued teaching. And he has given the distinction between the sharira and the shariri. Sharira, shariri. Sharira is vinashyati. Shariri is dehi nityam avadhyoyam dehe sarvasya bharata tasmat sarvani bhutani natvam shochitum arhasi. And he said, na jayate namriyate va kadachit na ayam bhutva bhavita va anabhuyaha ajanitya shashvatoyam puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Sharire hanyamane. Even if the sharira is eliminated, killed, na hanyate. This fellow is different. Understand? And that fellow who is different, you have no power to eliminate. Which Bhishma you want to eliminate? The Shariri Bhishma or Shariram Bhishma? The Shariram Bhishma Kala Kramena Nashyam Bhavati. You have no power to stop that. And the Shariri Bhishma, you have no power to eliminate. Because that will be Vasamsi Jirnani Yatha Vihaya Navani Grunhati Naroparani Tata Shrirani Vihaya Jirnani Anyani Samyati Navani Dehi. All those beautiful verses he has given for Arjuna's awakening. Arjuna is in tremendous conflict between the Raja Dharma, the dharma of a Raja Purusha, a noble prince like him, who is required to protect dharma, and to protect dharma, if the adharmi is perpetuating adharma, he has to eliminate the adharmi. That is the only way to protect dharma. And you have come to the battlefield with that intention. Now you want to go back on that. All these things beautifully he has covered. And afterwards he has given some rationale in Arjuna's thinking. Swadharmamapi chaveksha navikampitumar dharmyadiyuddha shreyonyat kshatriyasya navidyate. All these things which kind of reminding him as to his Raja Dharma, reminding him as to what kind of a fame and what kind of a name he has already earned. And if he goes away from here, Bhayad Ranaduparatam Mansyante Tvam Maharadaha, all those things he said, and try to awaken the fighting spirit in Arjuna once again. Afterwards, he has asked all of us to develop vyavasayatmika buddhihi. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kuru nandana bahushakahi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayinam. People who have the tendency to keep on thinking of so many things at a time, they will not be able to decide about anything anytime. Vyavasayatmaka buddhihi samadhau navidhiyate. That also he said towards the end. You develop the vyavasayatmaka buddhihi because that is required for karma yoga anushtana. Just before that, he has shaded the karmitas. Karmitas are those who just get stuck with the Veda Vihita, Yajnas and Yagas, and say there is nothing beyond those. Kamatmanaha, Swargaparaha, all those things, Bhagavan said, and alerted Arjuna not to fall a prey to those kind of people's coaxing, if at all. And finally, he said, as against these people, these karmatas, look at a jnanavan purushaha. How does he conduct himself? How do you pick that jnanavan purusha? Yavan ardha udapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanataha. Yavan ardha udapane, little bits of puddles of water, like the drying of well and things like that. Whatever prayojanam is there in all those things, that kind of a prayojanam is there in what? Sarvata samplutodake, when the entire area is flooded. When the entire area is flooded, sarvata samplutodake, brahmanasya vijanataha, he has no purpose, no use for the udapana, a little bit. Yavan ardha udapane, sarvata samplutodake, tavan sarveshu vedeshu. Listen, the udapana is equated by Bhagavan to sarveshu vedeshu. That is the karma kanda portions of all the Vedas. If you are very keen on getting stuck to them all the time without knowing their purpose is only to develop the required discipline for you in propelling you into karma yoga anushtana. That kind of a discipline is required. And if you think that is the only thing that is there, swarga paraha kamatmanaha, you are destroyed. So this Brahmanasya Vijanataha Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu Brahmanasya Vijanataha. Then he said he has opened the topic of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga was covered in a number of verses very, very beautifully. The beauty of the Sankhya Yoga is it has talked of the Jnana Yoga. Okay, the Sankhya Yoga means the topic regarding Atma. Atma na jayate namriyate Veda avinashinam vidhi yeyenam ajamavyayam kadham sa purusha padha kam ghatayati hantikam. All these things he has talked in the development of Atma Vidya. And afterwards, he has covered the Rajadharma, the dharma of a person like Arjuna, who has to eliminate the adharmi, Duryodhana. How he ought to do that, he has covered. Now, Sankhya Yoga has covered the Jnana Yoga initially. Later on also, he is going to cover in a different way. And in the middle, he has introduced Karma Yoga. He has introduced Karma Yoga. And Karma Yoga is what? Like it is mentioned in the 3rd chapter itself. The essence of Karma Yoga is Mayi Sarvani Karmani Sanyasya Adhyatma Chetasa Nirashihi Nirmamo Bhutva Yujhasva Vigata Jwaraha. That shloka is Karma Yoga. The entire tatparya of that shloka will tell you what is Karma Yoga. So, Bhagavan started Karma Yoga. Karmani eva te adhikaraha. This is another verse which is often quoted, and almost everybody seems to know these kind of verses. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Ma karma phala hetur bhuhu mate sangostu akarmani. Everybody seems to know this verse and a few other verses. That Ashocyanam Ashocastvam Sarvadharman Parityajya Mokshayashyami Mashuchaha. All these things, a lot of people I've observed, they as though know. You mention that, they will tell you that shloka nicely, very completely. Okay, like that. There are some verses in the Gita. In the 9th chapter, Kshine Punye Marchalokam Mushanti is there. After you exhaust your punyam from the Swargaloka, you descend down onto Marchaloka. All these kind of slokas everybody knows. Now, Bhagavan has opened the topic of Karma Yoga and coaxed Arjuna into Karma Yoga Anushtana. Afterwards, Arjuna asked a question. What is that? Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhihi kim prabhasheta kimaseta brajeta. About the attributes of Sthita Prajna. And why did he ask? Because his mind is on sannyasa again. In spite of having learned through Bhagavan the Karma Yoga Anushtana and the importance of that, the procedure is laid down by Bhagavan. In spite of it, his mind is elsewhere. And elsewhere is what? Sannyasa. So he wanted to know, the Sthita Prajna is a kind of a sannyasi. Not every sannyasi is a Sthita Prajna, but most of them are supposed to be. So Sthita Prajna, if he comes to know the Lakshanas, he can he can emulate those lakshanas and become a sthita prajna himself. Siddhasya lakshanani yani. For a siddha purusha, whatever are the lakshanas, whatever are the sahaja lakshanas, natural lakshanas are there, like it is the lakshana of the sun to be very effulgent, very hot, light giving. These are the lakshanas of the sun. So too, the sthita prajna will have some lakshanas which will be very natural to him. Siddhasya lakshanani yani. Siddha is sthita prajna. Sadhakasya sadhanani prayatnena sampadyani. For a sadhaka like us, they become the means, and those means, those lakshanas, we will have to prayatnena sampadyani. We must put in adequate effort and gain those. With that in mind, Arjuna asked, and Bhagavan beautifully gave in so many verses, very nicely. Vitaraga bhayakrodaha chetadihi munihi uchyate. And he said, Yes sarvatra anabhisnehaha tat tat prapya shubha ashubham na abhinandati na dveshti tasya prajna pratishtita. And he has given the fall ladder also. In the process, a sadhaka, if it does not take care of his kama and krodha, what kind of a fall he will have? And he said beautifully, some 2-3 verses, Jayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangaha Teshu Upajayate, and Buddhinashat Pranashyati towards the end. This will lead to Buddhinasha and he will be destroyed. And he said, Ragadvesha Viyuktaistu. On the other hand, Ragadvesha Viyuktaihi, that person who has freed himself from the hold of Raga and Dvesha, Ragadvesha Viyuktaistu, Vishayan Indriyaischaran. Vishayan Indriyaischaran. The sense organs keep on contacting the sense objects. Atma Vashyehi Vidhe Atma, because he has the mind under his control. Not control, he has mastered the mind and made the mind to think of Kitapa all the time. Kitaya, 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 Kitapa, Kitapa. And he knows that is the redemption for him. And because of that, Ragadvesha Viyuktaistu Vishayan Indriyaischaran Atmavashyehi Vidhe Atma Prasadam Adhigachyati. He attains to very superior peace. Prasadam Adhigachyati. And why do you want prasadam? Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanihi asya upajayate. With that, all the hani, all the havoc that is wrought by the dukkhas, prasade sarva dukkhanam hanihi asya upajayate. That is, that dukkha itself is dissolved, and the hani of the dukkhas is taken care. Prasanna cheta sohyashuhu buddhihi padyavatishtate. And he said, Nasti buddhirayuktasya, the person who is not together with himself, the person who has not mastered his mind, not mastered his sense organs, that kind of a person, ayuktaha, nacha ayuktasya bhavana, nasti buddhirayuktasya, nacha ayuktasya bhavana, nacha bhavayata shantihi, ashantasya kutasukam. All these things he said. When that person, and on the other hand, if he is not having the mastery of his sense organs and the mind, he will suffer. Ashantasya kutasukam, there is no sukham, no happiness for him. And he said, He said what? He has compared the Jnani with the Ajnani. How the Jnani looks at the world. How the Jnani looks at the world is to be understood. What is that verse? Yasyam Jagrati.
Tanisha Pashyato Munehe.
Yanisha
Yanisha
Sarvabhutanam.
Sarvabhutanam.
Yanisha Sarvabhutanam Tasyam Jagrati Samyami. Yasyam Jagrati Bhutani Sanisha Pashyato Munehe. We have seen that how this happens. He is awake to that reality that he is Atma, and he is asleep to the tossing effects of Jagat. Whereas you and I were awake to the tossing effects of Jagat, and he is asleep to those. Then finally, Bhagavan has concluded the second chapter beautifully. Apuryamanam machala pratishtam samudram apaha pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve saha shantim apnoti na kama kame. The person who keeps on desiring objects, he will not attain to any peace. If a person is more like the samudram, apuryamanam, it is unfillable, achalam, stable, pratishtam, it is in its own glory. Pratishtam, samudram apaha pravishanti yadvate. The nadinam apaha, how they come, and unable to disturb the samudram. So too, so many desires keep on coming into the minds of that jnani, jnana purushas, but unable to disturb the purushas. And he has wound up the Sankhya Yoga. Now Arjuna had a doubt, and the doubt he has expressed in a very gentle manner, in a very humble and very noble manner. That is the beauty of Arjuna. Arjuna is not an ordinary person. He is Narayana. We have been chanting Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Cheva Tato Jayamudirayet. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Cheva Narottamam. Amongst the Naras, he is the Uttamam Naraha. Arjuna is that. And he is the Saka of Narayana. When you are Saka of Narayana, Narayana will not take everybody as his friend. He will take only such of those people who deserve to be his friends. Is it not? That's it. Narayanam Namaskritya. Arjuna asked a wonderful question and very, very gently asked. Jayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhihi janardana tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojesi keshava. Because he heard Krishna praise Sankhya Yoga and also praise Karma Yoga, finally made Arjuna as though fight. So Arjuna is saying, Kim karmani ghore mam niyojesi keshava. If you consider Sankhya is better than karma, why are you impelling me into this activity which is terrible? He asks. And then Bhagavan keeps on giving the fundamentals of Karma Yoga. And in so doing, he says, Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtati akarma krite. Hey Arjuna, nobody can remain even for a kshanam, even for a second, without doing any karma. So don't you unnecessarily delude yourself into thinking that if you don't do any karma, you are okay. You are an akarma krita. And he says, Even a sannyasi cannot be an akarmakrit. Even a sannyasi will have to understand the Atma Tattva, and that Atma Tattva, that Atma is akarta. That the sannyasi will have to understand. Till then, even the sannyasi is not an akarmakrit. All those things beautifully he says. And he says, Yajnardat karmanaha. Yajna means for the welfare of the world. Whatever is done for the welfare of the world. Yajnardat karmanaha. Anyatra karma loko ayam bandhanaha. All other karmas in this world, they are of the bondage creating karmas. Yajnadhat karmanaha. Anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. Tadardham karma kaunteya. Yajnadham karma kaunteya. Mukta sangha samachara. Without any attachment, sangha and samachara. You do that beautifully. And that is the karma yoga. Bhavanena karma kuru. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashihi nirmamo bhutva yujyasva vigatajvaraha. Yujyasva vigatajvaraha. Without any conflict in the mind, without any doubts in the mind as to what you are doing is right or wrong. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya. Who do you think I am, Arjuna? I am the sarva karma phala pradata. I am not an ordinary being. I am the karma phala pradata. For whatever karma that anybody does, I am the phala pradata. So when such is the case, Maya sarvani karmani sanyasya. What is your difficulty? What is your difficulty in surrendering all the karma phalas to me? No matter what karma you do it beautifully, you do it without attachment, asangaha, okay? And wait for the result, which I shall give. When you know that, what is preventing you initially, before you even started the work, to surrender the karma phala to me? Why are you getting attached to the karma phala before it even happened? You have not started the work, and karma phala you don't want to surrender to me. That means what? You are getting stuck to the unknown karma phala. I am the giver of karma phala. I know what to give, who to give, when to give, and how to give. All these things, I am the karma adhyaksha. I am the karma phala pradata. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya adhyatma chetasa nirashi, without any asha, without any craving, nirashi, nirmamo bhutva, without any mamakara, yujyasva vigatajviraha. And he has said, Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmatsu anushtitat swadharme nidhanam shreyaha paradharmo bhayavaha. This verse we have covered on 2 days very adequately. A lot of doubts have been expressed. Good thing the doubts have been expressed. The answers to the doubts will clarify the essence of the sloka even better. That is how it happened. So Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha. Then Arjuna asked a question which almost all of us will ask also. Atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purushaha. Hey Kitapa, Adha, in that case means what? Shreyan Swadharmo Vigunaha. Paradhanmasvanushtita Swadharme Nidhanam. You all those things you have said, no? Even though Vigunaha, Shreyan Swadharmaha. But this papam, where does it come from? Anichannapi Varshneya. Baladipaniyojitāha. How is it happening? Then Bhagavan explains beautifully. Kamayesha, Krodhayesha, Rajoguna Samudbhavaha, Maha Ashanaha, Maha Papma, Vidhi, Enam, Iha Vairinam. He is your enemy. This Kama, which turns out to be Krodha, it is your enemy. And this Kama and Krodha, they are what? Ashanaha. They are not Ashanaha. What is that?
Mahapapma.
Mahapapma. No, before that, what was that?
Vairinam.
Huh?
Mahashano Mahapapma.
Mahashanaha, correct. Mahashanaha. He is these two, this pair, these two friends are Mahashanaha, very insatiable. Mahapapma, they render a lot of papas. Mahapapma, vidhiyenam ihavairinam. And they will cover ihavairinam. Why? Because your jnana is covered by these. And how they are covered? How the jnana is covered? Dhumena vriyate vannihi yatha adarsho malena cha yatha ulbena avruto garbha tadha tena idam avrutam. And he said all those things. And he said, Indriyani paranyahuhu indriyebhya param manaha manasastu para buddhihi manasastu para buddhihi yo buddhehe paratatsu saha. And the equivalent verse in the Kathopanishad also we have covered yesterday. Okay, that's also good to remember. Indriyani paranyahuhu. Indriyas are supposed to be paran, superior. Superior to what? Indriyani paranyahuhu. Indriyebhya param manaha. Compared to the sense organs, the sense objects are superior. That is the indication there. And
It is one second. Is it the sense objects superior than sense organs or the other way around?
Yes, sense objects. That is why you are pulled away. See, sense objects, they don't run after you. You run after them. The sense objects, they are there, stable, and inviting you to partake their essence, and you fall for them all the time. That is why the sense organs are inferior to the sense objects. Inferior to the sense objects. Some beautiful music is coming, and just at that time, supposing you are talking to your daughter, long distance call, and this beautiful music is so very soothing to your ear, and it is also as though known to you, you will tell her, hey, pause for a while, I'll come back to you. That is the effect of the objects, sense objects. Sense objects are very, very powerful. Okay, compared to the sense objects, the mind is more powerful. Compared to the paraha means superior, more powerful. Right? Indriyebhya param manaha manasastu para buddhihi. Buddhi is superior to mind, naturally, because it can decide what is good, what is bad. Discriminative faculty is there. Vyavasayatmika buddhi is possible only in the buddhi. And buddhehe yo buddhe paratastu saha. Saha is what? That Atma, that Purusha you are seeking. Saha buddhehe paraha. He is superior even to buddhi. Evam buddhehe param buddhva samstabhya atmanam atmana jahi shatrum mahabaho kamarupam durasadam. Knowing all these things, you Vinova, your problem areas, your enemies, kamarupam durasadam, this kama and krodha, these you Vinova. And that is how the third chapter has come to a close, and we must profit from the essence of the first three chapters. And I'm happy that you people are doing manana. You kindly do that manana now. Now, before we do the Shanti Pata, I thought I'll have to give you a little bit of news. You have been very, very studious. You have been attending the Zoom Gita classes without any without any gap, without giving up, and you have been at it from day one. I don't know how many days we have gone by doing the Gita. So all of us deserve a little summer break. We deserve a little summer break of maybe a few weeks, and that summer break will start from tomorrow. As to when we are going to meet again, Dr. Brahmara will let you know. It may be towards the middle or later part of June, right? Till then, I request all of you to keep doing the Maranas. The reason is my selfishness. I am going through cataract surgery for both the eyes on the 17th for one eye and on the 31st of May for the other eye. And after these two are done, depending on when the doctor will allow me to keep on talking like this and see the effect of any vibration on the eye socket, I do not know. It depends on this doctor. Whenever he permits, I will intimate Dr. Brahmara, who will in turn let you know. We will all meet again then, right? Any questions on these three chapters? So I repeat, from tomorrow, we will not have the Zoom Gita class. Maybe your Manana class also will slightly get modified. That Dr. Brahmara will tell you. Any questions, please?
We had a very beautiful, I think, I don't know, 2.5 months maybe.
I really don't know.
I've not kept count. I think we
I-
started somewhere end of March. We
Mhm.
started with Tattva Bodha and then Atma Bodha, and then we started with Bhagavad Gita.
Mhm.
And all of us are very grateful for this
Mhm.
beautiful journey. But this will give us enough time, this break, that is that's in the next few weeks when you recover from your surgery. It will give us time to delve a little deeper into this. We'll continue our manana. As of now, since we're all set into this timing, maybe we'll continue the same time. Unless there is some exigencies coming up, then maybe we will adjust accordingly. But as of now, I think it's all nice. Everybody is doing well with this. So we can cover more ground. So that is what we will do in the time that you...
Nana, I wrote in the chat for Nana. A lot
Yeah,
of
let me...
prayers are with you, Nana. A lot of prayers for your surgery, your successful surgery, and complete recovery.
Thank you so much, Tali.
Dr. Renu has a question. How did Krishna had so much time to chant 700 shlokas in the battlefield?
Kittappa is what? Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Padho Dhanurdharaha. That is the Charama Sloka of the Bhagavad Gita. Yogeshwaraha. Yoganam Ishwaraha. All kinds of yogas. He is the Ishvara. He is the Lord. And what he cannot do, he has as though made the Duryodhana and others think that the 3 or 3.5 hours that he has taken to chant all these verses would be like just a minute or two. He is capable of doing that, and he has done that in the battlefield for the benefit of Arjuna. When Arjuna's son Abhimanyu was killed, Arjuna vowed to eliminate the cause of the death of Abhimanyu. And next day he said, I will eliminate him. I will kill him, or before sundown, if I can't, I will immolate myself. I will offer myself to the fire. And when it was almost sunset, Bhagavan Krishna came to Arjuna's aid. And that Yogeshwara has created sunset. When the sun is still bright in the western horizon, he has created sunset. And everybody thought, no, Arjuna will have to enter fire. And this Jayadratha came out into the open. And Bhagavan Krishna has removed the sunset and told Arjuna, hey, you fire, you kill this fellow who was the cause for destruction of the single warrior Abhimanyu. And that is how Jayadratha was killed. Yogeshwara. Renu madam, he can do lots of wonders.
Yes, Nana.
You know what? I'll tell you another thing beautifully. Brahmadeva, if you read Bhagavatam, you will know this. This is a beautiful episode. One day, what he did, when Krishna and the Gopalas, they went into the forest meadows for grazing the cattle, the cows and calves and things like that. Brahmadeva wanted to create a prank on Bhagavan Krishna, and Bhagavan Krishna was in his maybe 7th or 8th year. 7th or 8th year. He was looking kind of insignificant to Brahmadeva. And what he did, these people, Krishna, went to look for the cattle. The cattle have gone for a long time. They're not visible. Hey, what happened? Then Krishna said, I will go look for them. At that time, Krishna and the Gopalas will be partaking their lunch. And they're nothing like fork and spoon and things like that with their fingers. And Krishna Bhagavan was having the food in his hands. And he went looking for the cattle and told the other Gopas, you carry on with the food. Then Brahmadev, he has created Maya. That what kind of Maya is that? He has taken away all the Gopas and the cattle also, and hid both of them in one Parvata Guha. Then Krishna Bhagavan came back. When he came back, he did not see the Gopalas. Neither did he see the cows and cattle and things like that. So he went on thinking, what is this? How can this suddenly happen? Then it struck me, This is the Brahmadeva's creation. I am taking a couple of minutes more today. This is Brahmadeva's creation. Instead of again begging him to give back my cattle and my gopalas, I shall do one other thing. I will teach Brahmadeva what is creation. And you know what Kitapa does? He has created all the gopalas. He has created all the cows and the cattle, the calves, everything. And see, every cow will have a distinct feature, isn't it? All those features he has reproduced. Same thing with the gopalas, he has reproduced. And with all those, he went home. And these gopalas and the cattle, they are in that guha. In that guha, Aranya guha. Kitapa went home. And when he went home, and in the gopalas, the gopikas, the mothers, they're seeing who? They are also seeing Kitapa. So gopikas had extra love as though for their own children. And each one of those, cattle, calves and things like that, each one of them was looking glorious. Hey, what is this great shine? They were astonished. And the next day morning, they had given a lot more milk. And this continued for 1 year. When it continued for 1 year, Brahmadev was astonished. He came to the earth to find out what is happening. At that time, Bhagavan Krishna, you know what he has done? He has created another Brahmaloka. He has created another Brahmaloka, and the Brahmas, the what do you call that? Great hall of parliament of Brahmadeva. All those things he has created. And when Brahmadeva came to know that this is the creation of Kitapa, he went back to Brahmaloka. When he went back to Brahmaloka, you know what happened? This is the beautiful portrayal in the Bhagavatam. There, the Brahma Deva was stopped at the gate. One sentry stopped him. Who are you? He said, I am Brahmadeva. Yeah, what Brahmadeva? Brahmadeva is having Tattvabodha class is going on inside. Don't disturb him. Kitapa has created another Brahmadeva and another class, another great hall of parliament. And this Brahmadeva was forced to come back, begging pardon of this Kitapa. So, Renu madam, if Kitapa could do these things, what is some 3 hours or 3.5 hours of talk in the battlefield?
Yeah,
He can
understood.
create wonders. Okay, now. So again, from tomorrow, you please relax, have summer vacation till Brahmana tells you that the vacation has ended. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Have a safe surgery, Nana.
Thank you.
We wish
Come
you
on,
a
All the
very
best. This
Thank
is
you.
Yeah, all the best for your surgery and recover